leading the NFC East, trouble is brewing in Dallas at just 2-4. Cowboys players have reportedly begun to express their frustrations with the coaching staff. One player reportedly said Mike McCarthy's staff is, quote, totally unprepared, and another player simply put it, they just aren't good at their jobs. Former Cowboys cornerback Orlando Scandrick joining us this morning. Orlando, good to have you. Here's the question, though. Is coaching the problem with the Cowboys?
I don't know if coaching is the sole problem, but coaching is one of the huge issues. From a leadership standpoint, it's very disappointing that you bring in a coach who you think is a championship caliber coach, and after 6 games, people is ready to jump ship. When the finger pointing starts, it's hard to come back from that.
So let me ask you, so the coaching was the problem last year, and these same players are there this year. Not coaching is a problem again. When is there going to be a...
No. Let me stop you there, Sharp.
Go ahead.
The coaching was a problem because the message began to become stoic, and everyone was tired of it, so they were ready for change. Sometimes when you realize when you get changed, change is not always, the grass ain't always greener. A 2-4 start is a terrible start, especially what you added in the offseason. And I think from a coaching standpoint, they brought in coaches that don't mesh well with the players, the coaches that don't run a scheme that's good for these players. So that's the only reason why I say coaching is a problem. But at some point, these players got to look themselves in the mirror and say, did I make enough plays? Did I win my individual battle tonight?
That's my point. You keep saying, okay, the message got stale. Okay, this is a new message with those same players. When have you got contained? When are you going to contain? When if you're playing cover 3 that you're in the hook to flat instead of the third of the field? So if you're supposed to be in the A gap and you're not in the A gap, what does coaching? Coaching teaches you alignment and assignment, which is your responsibility. Okay, once I tell you your responsibility, it's your job to go get it done. So you don't get it done, it's easy because Jerry Jones has made it okay to have a scapegoat in the coach. People have blamed Jason Garrett for 8 years, 8 and 8, this Jason Garrett fault. Now you got a different coach. Now you got no Rod Marinelli, no Chris Richard, no Jason Garrett, and it's still the coaches. What about them players?
No, the players they definitely in it. But Skip, I'm gonna lean to Skip on this one. We hired a coach. Well, I'm speaking as Dallas Cowboys fans. We hired a defensive coordinator that has been lately historically bad. We made some hires on defense, and we brought in Mike Nolan, which he brought in Tom Sula. Let me take you back to the coaching tree. All of these guys coached with the San Francisco 49ers, correct?
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. All of these guys coached with the San Francisco 49ers. Mike Nolan, horrendous. So they promote Singletary. That has a fallen out, who was also on the same Mike Nolan staff. Then they promote Tom Sula, horrendous. And all of a sudden they get Jim Harbaugh, and these same players are in the NFC Championship year after year in the Super Bowl. So I just don't think the scheme is bad. They totally unprepared. For someone to say totally unprepared at your job, that is the worst thing that someone can say. Totally unprepared at your job. What you do, how you feed your family, your profession.
So, Orlando, you have been around. You played for the Cowboys. You played for the Eagles. You played for the Chiefs. You know the score. You know what's happening inside these locker rooms. They have rejected Mike Nolan's teaching in his scheme. Somehow, some way, it hasn't worked because they are on an historically bad pace. You have to go back to the AFL Oakland Raiders of 1961 to find a pro football team that gave up more points through the first 6 games than this defense has. The last time Mike Nolan was even a defensive coordinator was 2014 in Atlanta. Those Falcons gave up the most yards in the whole National Football League. And the previous year, they were 27th in yards allowed with him as the defensive coordinator. And the previous year before that, 2012, they were 24th in yards allowed. Fail, fail, fail. And then somehow, out of cronyism at its worst, because once upon a time, he gave Mike McCarthy a coordinator's job when Mike Nolan was the head coach of the 49ers, back to your point, that
Correct.
Mike owed him a favor. So one Mike brought the other Mike basically out of semi-retirement and gave him the D.C. job in Dallas with a team that still has a lot of talent on it. So, Orlando, I got to ask you this, because this dawned on me last night. DeMarcus Lawrence has made Pro Bowls. Aldon Smith has been a revelation this year. He's played at a very high level. He's made a lot of Pro Bowls in his past, obviously. They added Dontari Poe, who was a Pro Bowl player in his past. And then I look at, wait, they just added Everson Griffin, who did make the Pro Bowl last year. Shannon makes the point, well, he stayed on the market a long time, and they got him cheap, but he did make the Pro Bowl for the Vikings last year. And he's been, I think he's a 4-time Pro Bowler. And then all of a sudden I see Monday night, Leighton Vander Esch back. He made the Pro Bowl. Jalen Smith has made the Pro Bowl. It's too many Pro Bowlers to be historically bad. Can you help me out here? At some point, do you just mutiny on Mike Nolan? Do you completely reject the teaching and the scheme of the new coaching staff?
I think that at some point, thus far in these 6 games, these guys have said, this ain't working for me.
Correct.
Marks has said, I made Pro Bowl after Pro Bowl. This ain't working for me. Shannon, we looked 2-3 games into the season. Everson Griffin goes, well, I don't want to stand up anymore. I want to put my hand in the dirt. But that's not the scheme. That's not what the scheme calls for, to keep contained. So they've definitely rejected it. But
But kid, hold on. Go back to what you said. To do what? What's his responsibility to keep? You said something.
To keep it contained. It's his responsibility. But for him, if he's saying, I can't do this, my arm's too short, that's not what I'm used to doing.
Why the hell you signed there? You know the defense that they run.
Why did they bring him there as the coaches? You know why he signed there?
Yeah.
He signed there for money.
Exactly.
Why did the coaches bring him there?
Thank you.
As players, it's your job to make plays. As coaches, it's your job to put these players in the best position and to give them the best plan each week to win, week in, week out. And I'm gonna give it to y'all raw as a player. You looked and these players say their inability to make changes. So these first 3 drives, they're getting 3 and out, 3 and out. Then the next drive, what happens? The Cardinals come down, score. The Cardinals come down, score. Now it's 14-0.
Okay, but wait a second. Why did that happen? Because wait a second. Your Pro Bowl running back coughed it up twice and gave them 2 short field touchdowns, one from only 27 yards away. And the defense said, we're out.
So is it okay? Is it okay when the defense is put in a disadvantageous position to just give up a score?
No. You're welcome to stop them. You can stop them holding to a field goal. But let me ask you this. You talked about D-Law. Since D-Law got that big contract, you telling me he's played like a Pro Bowl player, a guy that deserves $21 million. Has he played like that? A simple yes or a simple no?
That's never came out of my mouth. You gave me a question and an answer.
Okay, here's another question. Since he made that last Pro Bowl, got that big contract, has he played like a top defensive end? A simple yes or a simple no?
No, he hasn't.
Has Jalen Smith, hold on, Jalen Smith got that big payday. Has he played like a top-tier linebacker? A simple yes or a simple no will suffice.
The last time you had me on, we talked about the payday of Jalen Smith, and we said, it's being critical, and it may be more than people think it is. But at the end of the day, they paid him to play in a scheme, and then they put him in a totally different scheme. So if I paid you to be a pass-catching tight end, then I told you got to be a left tackle, how would you feel?
No. He's still a linebacker. Go get the ball. How about just go get the ball? What about that effort? You saw that effort against Odell on that run. You saw the effort. Hold on.
And making plays.
No. That's what defense is. It's about effort and responsibility. Are they doing their responsibility? You keep telling me, well, you put him in a scheme that he's unfamiliar with.
I'm not making excuses, but all I'm saying is if you pay me to play in a certain scheme, then keep me in the scheme. I thought it was foolish for them to abandon the scheme. I'm not giving them a pass. I'm not giving DeMarcus a pass because he's in a different scheme. So I'm not giving Jalen a pass. I'm just saying put the guys in the best position to win. They already were struggling with not being in the best position to win, so put them in the best position to win.
But I don't understand. Rod Marinelli's scheme wasn't for them. Chris Richard's... Hold on. Give me a second. Rod Marinelli's scheme wasn't for them. Chris Richard's scheme wasn't for them. Mike Nolan's scheme wasn't for them. What the hell type of scheme is going to be perfect so we can get some complete?
Timeout.
Yeah.
The Rod Marinelli, Chris Richard scheme just absolutely did a number on Seattle and Russell Wilson and the #1 rushing attack in pro football in a playoff game at Jerry World just 2 years ago. They shut them completely down. Would they hold them to 76 yards rushing? Are you kidding me? And by Russ's standards, He had a very subpar game that day, and they hung on and won 24-22.
Correct.
They held him to 22 points. Something
we can
worked.
Go back further. We can go back further. The Rob Marinelli, Chris Richard scheme, Thursday Night Football against the New Orleans Saints.
Oof.
They held them to, what, 6 points?
Yeah.
Yep. Drew Brees threw an interception to end the game to Jordan Lewis.
Okay.
Sharp, what I'm saying is I'm not giving any of these players a pass, but do you see any light at the end of the tunnel in the current scheme or the current coaching on this defensive side of the ball right now?
Can I be 100% honest? I don't think the players on the defense are very good. I think we base their value on how much money they make. That's what we've done with the Cowboys.
I can look at there. I can say that sometimes you put people's value into how much money they make. But what are you going to do? You want to scrap every single player on defense, or do you want to try to interject some life and a voice on the defensive side to get these players to believe? Because right now they don't believe.
I want you to do your job. If you have contain, maintain, contain. If you have A-gap responsibility, get your butt in the A-gap. If you got deep thirds, why are you squatting in the hook, the curl, the flat? Tell me that. You saw that Christian Kirk. Can you tell me why Worley was squatting 2 yards behind the DB that got the hook, the flat?
I think he was just guessing, but at the end of the day...
What the? Hold on. So the coaches told you, when you go out there, I want you to guess. I want you to play this. Huh?
No way. But at some point, who put those players on the field? Who vouched for those players to get on the roster?
Jerry Jones. Because Jerry Jones said everybody. Jerry Jones says everybody here. Hold on.
No.
Jerry Jones. Hold on, Skip. Skip read a quote.
I was there for a decade. That's not how it happened.
I know what Skip just read. He said Jerry Jones says we've got the talent. Everybody
to
that came,
fix this.
To fix this. Yeah. So everybody that came in that locker room came at the blessings of who? Orlando Scandrick.
Jerry Jones signs off on the final thing. But to put yourself in Jerry Jones' situation, if I'm the owner of the team, how much stuff do you think that he's running? How much? A lot. So he has to take outside information from a lot of people, from his coach. He has to trust his coaches. That was one of the reasons why he hired Mike McCarthy, because he's a Super Bowl winning coach. He's got that in him.
Okay, last question to you, because you did play defensive back at a high level in this league. Help me out with this one. They signed Clinton Dix before the season started. He is a former Pro Bowl player, only 27 years of age. For some reason, just before the season started, after giving him $4 million for this year, they cut him in favor of Xavier Woods, who's a great kid. We've had him on the show, but I think he's just a mediocre player who has now started 39 games for the Dallas Cowboys. They like him because he's a good kid and he tries hard. What happened to Clinton Dix? Can you explain that one to me?
I think that they signed. I'm gonna go back and lean on Shannon right here. I think they signed him for what he has done in the past. I don't think that he was what they were looking for. I thought they were getting one thing, and then once they get out there in training camp, they realize he's just as good as the guys that we got. So why keep him? Let's just see what these guys. I know that they know safety is a position of need, but the refusal to bring in Earl Thomas because they think that it means for the locker room and just where they are right now. I think they're just trying to keep their head above water, and I know what the message is. We're 2-4, but yeah, we're in first place. We got everything that we want right ahead of us.
So true.
I don't think that's a good message. I don't think that's reality.
And 2-4, there's still a lot in their future. Orlando, we're going to have you stick around for this next one as we discuss the Cowboys. Can they hold off Carson Wentz and the Eagles in the NFC East? Let's keep this conversation going next.